Sha'ban, a blessed month, a gateway to Ramadan, a time when the doors of mercy open wide. But did you know that this month contains spiritual secrets that few know? Among them, a powerful Wazifa, a hidden treasure which, when recited with sincerity, can transform your life. And to Allah belongs the treasure of the heavens and the earth, but the hypocrites do not understand. Quran 63:7. Wealth and prosperity are not just material. They are a state of mind, a light in the heart. Are you ready to discover this secret and see miracles manifest in your life? Sha'ban, an often forgotten month, eclipsed by the grandeur of Ramadan which follows it. However, it is a month when the doors of heaven open, where the angels ascend with our actions, where Allah observes with particular attention those who invoke Him. Rafiq's story. A man at a crossroads. Imagine a man, Rafiq. His face bore the marks of time, but it was not age that weighed him down. These were the invisible burdens of despair, debt, and anxiety. His hands, tired from hard work, no longer found blessing. Every project he launched collapsed. Every hope evaporated like a drop of water under a scorching sun. One day, while wandering in the market, with a heavy heart and lowered head, he overheard a conversation between two elderly men under the shade of a date tree. One of them, a man with a white beard and a penetrating gaze, uttered a sentence that resonated within him like a divine echo. Sha'ban is the month when actions ascend to Allah. It is the ideal time to seek His favor. These words imprinted themselves on his mind like a revelation. What if the solution was not in his tired hands, but in the power of faith? Rafiq's decision, a step towards the invisible. That night he couldn't sleep. He got up, performed ablutions, and sat in silence. The air was still, almost sacred. He then remembered a teaching he had once heard in his childhood. When a man sincerely turns to Allah, the doors of help open in ways he cannot imagine. He began to recite a Wazifa that had been transmitted to him by a spiritual master, a simple set of words, but loaded with renewed faith. He did this every day with unwavering constancy, imploring the Most High to show him a way. The miracle of the forgotten month. The days passed. At first, nothing seemed to change, but deep inside he felt a new peace, a certainty he had never known before. Then, one morning, as he was opening his little shop as usual, a man came in, interested in his wares. This was the first in a long series of unusual customers. His business, once deserted, began to prosper. A former friend offered him an opportunity he never imagined. Debts that seemed insurmountable were settled as if by a divine breath. Was it a coincidence? No, because Allah says in the Holy Quran, "Whoever fears Allah, He will give him a favorable outcome and grant him His gifts in means that he did not imagine." Quran 65:2-3. This verse, which he had heard so many times without really experiencing it, now took on its full meaning. Sha'ban, a month of inner transformation. Sha'ban. It's not just a month of transition before Ramadan. It is a fertile ground where Allah looks at our hearts, where He extends His hand to those who invoke Him with sincerity. Many neglect it, thinking that great blessings begin with Ramadan. But those who understand the secret of this month know that it is here that we plant the seeds that will flower during the sacred month. Have you ever felt that moment when everything seems blocked? When you are desperately looking for a way out? What if the key is closer than you think? The secret Wazifa of the month of Sha'ban. There are invisible doors in this world. Doors that only the word of Allah can open. Some seek wealth by chasing money. Others spend their lives chasing opportunities without ever finding stability. But what they don't know is that true abundance does not come from this world. Wealth is not limited to gold and silver. It is an inner peace, a sudden opening of paths that we thought were closed, an answer to silent prayers. And Sha'ban is the month when these blessings descend for those who know how to call their Lord. A secret known to the wise. Spiritual masters have transmitted, from generation to generation, a Wazifa, whose power transcends time. A Wazifa based on the most beautiful names of Allah, those who trigger miracles for those who recite them with faith. Here's what you need to do. After each obligatory prayer, recite, Ya Wahhab, Ya Razak, Ya Fatah, Ya Ghani, Ya Mughni, 104. After Fajr and Isha, read this verse, My Lord, grant me a share of your grace, you who are the most generous of givers. Quran 3:8. These are not just words, these are spiritual keys, invocations that resonate in the heavens and open the invisible doors of sustenance. Why does this work? Because it's not a magic formula. It is a connection with the infinite. Allah Himself said, Call on me, I will hear you. Quran 40:60. The promise is clear, but only those who invoke with a sincere heart see the miracles manifest. Listen to this story. Amina was a simple woman. Mother of 3 children, she lived in a constant struggle against financial difficulties. The bills were piling up, her husband had lost his job, and every day was a battle to put food on the table. But instead of falling into despair, she turned to her Lord. She had heard about this Wazifa. At first, she was skeptical. Could we really see a change by repeating these words every day? But she decided to try, not for the money, but for peace. She began to recite every morning. She invoked with tears, with certainty, with complete confidence in the promise of Allah. She wasn't asking for wealth, she was asking for relief. Then things started to change. One day, without warning, a former employer contacted her with a job offer that she was no longer expecting. One of his major debts was canceled for no apparent reason. His home, once filled with stress, was transformed into a place of serenity. She then understood a profound truth. When you place your trust in Allah, He gives you beyond your expectations. A question for you. What if I told you that a simple recitation can transform your life? Would you do it with sincerity every day? Or would you let this opportunity pass you by like so many others before you? Don't underestimate the power of Sha'ban. Now your call can be heard. Now is when the doors can open. The only question remaining is, will you answer this call? There is a secret that many people don't know. The Wazifa alone is not enough. It is not mechanically repeated words that open the doors of destiny. It is the state of the heart that recites. Allah clearly tells us, verily, Allah does not change the state of a people until they change what is in themselves. Quran 13:11. This means that change comes first from within. If your heart is filled with greed, your invocation will carry this energy. If your intention is pure, your words will have a force that you don't even suspect. There are 3 essential keys to see the blessings of Wazifa manifest in your life. 1. Sincerity. Why are you really invoking? Ask yourself, do you recite this Wazifa uniquely to get money? Or do you to get closer to Allah, to attract His blessing and His approval? Allah looks at the hearts. He does not simply give according to the lips that speak, but according to the deep intention which guides these words. And they were commanded only to worship Allah, devoting exclusive worship to Him, to perform the prayer, and to pay zakat. And this is the religion of righteousness. Quran 98:5. If you want to see true blessings, detach yourself from the obsession with material gain. Seek Allah first, and you will see that everything else will follow naturally. 2. action, for Allah blesses efforts. The Wazifa is a call, but it must be followed by a movement. If you sit around waiting for a miracle without putting in any effort, how do you want to see change? And say, act. Allah will see your actions, as will His Messenger and the believers. Quran 9:105. Look at the prophets. Did they wait for manna to fall from heaven and do nothing? No. They prayed, invoked, but also acted. If you seek wealth, be prepared to work persistently, seize opportunities, get up early, and do what is right. Car Allah blesses those who advance towards Him with sincerity and effort. 3. Gratitude, the power of thanks. Finally, there is a key that many forget: the gratitude. Thank Allah even for the small things, for every blessing you recognize grows. Allah made a promise. If you are grateful, I will grant you more. But if you are ungrateful, my punishment will be severe. Quran 14:7. Look around you. If you don't thank Allah for what you already have, how can you expect to receive more? Every morning, take a moment. Give thanks for the breath you take, for the food on your table, for the opportunities that present themselves. Car Allah gives to those who know how to recognize His blessings. Karim was an ambitious man. He wanted wealth, he wanted success, he wanted everything, and right away. He heard about this Wazifa and began to recite it eagerly, but his heart was filled with impatience, desire, frustration. Days passed, then weeks, but nothing changed. One day a pious friend asked him a simple question. Why are you looking for gold, Karim? Are you looking for blessing or just material comfort? Because sometimes wealth is a test, not a reward. This sentence struck his heart. He realized that he was invoking without true faith, without really seeking the proximity of Allah. So he changed. He began to recite Wazifa no longer for money, but for attract the barakah, to grow spiritually, to learn patience and gratitude. And that's when everything was transformed. His business prospered. He found an opportunity he had never considered. But above all, he found an inner peace he had never known. Because he understood a deep truth: it's not wealth that makes you happy. It is the blessing of Allah that gives serenity. A question for you. If tomorrow Allah grants you a financial blessing, could you use it to the good? Or would you fall into the illusion of this world, forgetting the true wealth, that of the heart? Think. Because the way you answer this question will determine whether you are ready to receive divine blessing. There are times in the year that are not like the others. Moments when the doors of heaven open, or the invocations rise higher, or the mercy of Allah descends in abundance. Sha'ban is one of those rare moments, a discreet month forgotten by many, but which hides a huge secret. Allah looks at our hearts with special attention. He sees our intentions, our supplications, our silent hopes. And that's why what are you doing now will matter more than ever. The power of Wazifa, a key waiting to be turned. Imagine an instant. You hold in your hands a precious key, a key that opens the doors of abundance, of peace, of spiritual elevation. More. This key alone is not enough. It's your faith that activates it. Allah la promise. And your Lord said, "Call upon me, I will hear you." Quran 40:60. Everything you are looking for, whatever your heart desires, everything you thought out of reach, everything can change by one thing only: your pure intention and your connection with Allah. What you need to do now, don't waste this opportunity. Don't let this moment pass like other years. Do not be one of those who hear and forget, who know and do nothing. Here is what you should do now. Start this Wazifa today. Ya Wahhab, Ya Razak, Ya Fatah, Ya Ghani, Ya Mughni, 100 times after each obligatory prayer. My Lord, grant me a share of your grace, you who are the most generous of givers. Quran 3:8, to be recited after Fajr and Isha. Set your intention and ask with a pure heart. Don't just recite the words. Speak to Allah with sincerity, like a servant who knows that his Lord listen and respond. Watch the blessings manifest in your life. Car they will come. In forms you wouldn't expect. At times you don't expect. More they will be there. Allah East Ar-Razak, the one who grants without limit. But the real question is, are you ready to receive his blessings? Because receiving implies to be prepared. Prepared to change, has to grow, has welcomed the light, and to walk on a new path. One last call. Be part of those who take action. Don't let this video be just one more piece of information. Make it a transformation. Commence today, and above all, share your experience. Tell me in the comments, are you going to try this Wazifa? Have you ever experienced a miracle after a sincere invocation? Maybe your story will be the one who awakens another soul in search of light. Sha'ban is a month of opportunity, a time when sincere hearts are heard. Recite, believe, and watch miracles happen. And whoever puts his trust in Allah, He is sufficient for him. Quran 65:3. May Allah's blessings fill your life with light and abundance.